Good morning, dispellers. Have you ever done that? Have you ever used the computer screen to put on your makeup, do your hair? It's like you're waiting for people to get there and you just want to put on your face. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm going to brush my hair a little bit here. And yeah, we're going to be reading the book today because I can. I've been thinking, it's not that I don't care about what y'all think. I do. You guys should know that by now. But somebody said to me, it's okay to care about what they think and stuff, but do you? If you want to read your book, read your book. And I do. I want to read my book to anybody that's interested. And if you don't come in and you're interested, you can always be interested later or maybe not at all. But either way, this book is a good book. I think it's helped some people. Some people have given positive comments and other people said, I hate the book. And I let the haters of the book take over the majority who liked it. So I'm going back to reading the book. I'm just going to tell you what I always do. In the comments on the side, feel free to say whatever within reason. Be respectful, all that good stuff, no cussing. Remember, this is a godly room. We honor God here. And yeah. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like, the share, the bell, the thing, the drill, whatever. I'm going to start or continue, I should say, reading. Today's chapter is The Judge. I will begin reading now. And then if you have comments or questions or input, please put them in the side chat, or you can comment down below when I'm done. And if you've missed any other videos, I'll try to link them somewhere in the corners like I do. Hopefully that's been working. I don't know. I haven't gone back and watched in a while. I've been working and stuff till the doctor said I couldn't for a little bit. All right. So this is the picture of the judge that they give us. Fable, Olivia Owl and Robin. They're talking about a book, I guess. Hi there, Auntie Olivia, Robin chirped. Well, who is this? Olivia Owl replied, but my favorite niece, Robin. Robin landed on a branch perpendicular to Aunt Olivia's so she could look into her big yellow eyes without having to turn her own head. Although Robin had known Auntie Olivia all her life, there was still something disconcerting about the way she looked at you directly with both eyes at the same time. It was almost human, and it made Robin's neck feathers tingle. But one thing was certain, Olivia Owl had a penetrating gaze that could and usually would look right through you. So, Auntie, I heard you went to a flock party. How was it? Well, the food was terrible. The nuts were so hard that everyone had problems getting them open, except, of course, that old bird, Tara Toucan. Can you believe the beak on that bird? And you should see her colors. Why, I never. Perhaps that's what they wear in the jungle, but she will never make it in this forest dressed like that. Well, Auntie Olivia, wasn't there anything you liked about the party? Robin chipperly inquired. How can you like a party with food like that? For one thing, everyone knows you don't serve worms at a flock party. They simply won't stay fresh. And all those seeds. Not a single field mouse. I am a carnivorous bird, I think they were just being cheap. Before Robin could reply, Aunt Olivia went on. You remember Daisy and Dahlia Duck, your distant cousins? They were there too. I know they're amphibious birds, and yes, they do have to float. But you can't tell me their backsides have to be that big. I just don't understand. Who could let themselves go like that? Oh, like who could let themselves go like that? Robin fidgeted nervously on the branch. She didn't like hearing Aunt Olivia putting down any of the many members of her extended family, but Olivia didn't notice and continued her commentary. Suddenly, Olivia Owl became very focused, gazing off into the distance. Robin didn't see anything, but Olivia said, Don't look now and don't say anything, but here comes Betty Blue Jay. From a distance, Robin heard Betty's unmistakable loud screech. Hello, Olivia Owl. Hello, Robin. Who do you, Betty? They replied, as Betty flew into view and then flew away. My, aren't you looking nice? Olivia called after her. As Betty disappeared from view, Olivia turned to Robin and said, What blue trash? But Robin could barely bear what her auntie said because of a deafening noise overhead. She looked up to see a flock of at least 30 crows. They circled a few times, squawking loudly, then rumbled off toward the horizon. Aunt Olivia muttered, "Yeah, that's all we need, a gang of crows stirring up trouble around here. There goes the forest, a bunch of avian hooligans. That's what they are, making all that noise. Do they think our auricular areas are ornamental? Look at them, common crows, and they think they're so tough flying around in those black feather jackets." Robin's fidgeting intensified. She didn't want her auntie to know she was dating the leader of the flock. Perish forbid that Olivia might turn her critical eyes upon her. "Well, auntie," she said nervously, "it was nice visiting with you, but I must fly." "All right, Robin, wait, turn around and let me adjust your tail feathers. You are the symbol of spring, and you have a reputation to keep up. You shouldn't fly around all ruffled as you do so often." And as Robin flew away, she couldn't help but wonder what Olivia had to say about her when she wasn't around. Judges set a standard that no one can meet, then pronounce judgment along with a running commentary of criticism. Critical to a fault, picky to the point of perfection, and certain of their criticism, judges declare you guilty and then sentence you to time in the jail of their disapproval. In our lens of understanding, judges' behavior originates out of the positive intent to get it right. There are two ways that the intent to get it right can lead to this difficult behavior: threatened intent, fear of being wrong, or projected intent, identifying what's wrong in others. So let's show you where the judge is on our little lens here. There's the judge up there with perfection. I think we've all played a role in that judge situation before. I know I have. The judge's behavior begins when someone who wants to get it right rises to the bench in the courtroom of discernment to determine what is truly proper in a given situation. The observation is made that someone or something is out of place, out of step, out of accord, or has failed to conform to the high standards of judges. Something's wrong. That's when the good intention of judges becomes a relentless, nitpicky perfectionism that manifests as criticism and condescension. In general, judges become critical, finding fault in everything and everybody. The internal demand to criticize keeps growing in intensity. Then judges can be perceived by others as disgruntled perfectionists, hopeless cynics, or relentless nitpickers. I'll be right back. I gotta let my kitties in. Go outside and do the booty up. Anyhow, Bobo just got out, and I'm not chasing him because I can't be running on this foot anyway. He'll be all right. He'll come back in. He knows it's cold. The range of judgmental behavior, innocent or guilty. In the court of judges, you're either innocent or guilty. There are a few shades of gray to interfere with their judgment, but there are several ways to hold court. There are the small claims judges who complain about the feelings of every person to every other person. These judges present evidence, pass judgment, and then pass the judgment along to others as gossip and rumor. Then there are the nitpicking judges who, much like the neatness freaks who keep cleaning up after cleaning up, fixate on details of no real consequence. These judges prefer order in the court. In an effort to build a wall against the chaos, they cover the carpet and furniture with plastic, and then they close off the room so it cannot be disturbed by human touch. There are also the hanging judges who throw the book at you if you disagree with anything. Hung up on one narrow point of view, the hanging judges impose rules and pound the gavel to drown you out if you keep trying to argue your case. In the courts of the hanging judges, the rulings of the judges are supreme. We all know people that fit into each one of those descriptions, or maybe we are those people. Then there are the cynical judges who look up only to tear something down and believe that others are motivated only by selfishness. Finally, there are the probation officer judges who like to look over your shoulder because you're in their domain. The probation officers will tell you what not to do as you do it. what will go wrong before it happens, what doom awaits you if you take unapproved of action, and what never was or will be right, no matter how hard you try. These problem behaviors can cause harm to both judges and to those who must deal with them. Judges may wind up in constant pain because the world refuses to conform to their standards, and those being judged may become cynical and apathetic, deciding that there's no point in trying because no matter how hard they try, it will never be good enough. You'd better adjust your attitude. Get defensive and you condemn yourself. Say nothing and you seem guilty. But you don't have to correct the judge, not if you correct yourself to yourself instead. If your highest priority is self-defense and you don't want to be found in contempt in the courtroom of the judge's opinion, then let go of the need to correct the judge when he or she is wrong about you. Oh man, that's a good one for me. I have a hard time with that. I want to argue with you if you say something wrong about me. Instead, correct yourself. The attitudinal key to dealing with the judges is to counter the negative rulings, whether stated directly or implied, in the privacy of your own mind. You do this by telling yourself the positive corollaries to the negative judgments. I think we try to do this, like when somebody misjudges us or says something negative about us, we go and make a video about it a lot of times. But you don't have to do that. You can just to yourself, or like on paper even, you can sit there and say, they say this about me, this is what's true. You can do it that way. But it's so tempting to just tell everybody, that's not true about me, that's not true, they're lying. It doesn't do you any good though on here. It just doesn't. If the judge says or implies you're a lousy friend, you say to yourself, I'm a good friend, and that's why I'm still on the phone. If the judge says or implies you totally screwed it up, you say to yourself, I know I did the best I could. If the judge says or implies, I was waiting for you for half an hour and I put my package down, so it's because of you that I forgot about it, you say to yourself, it was not about me. She put the package down. Exactly. This is a good chapter. This might be my favorite. Doing this will help you keep your perspective. Offering encouragement to yourself is the ray of light that keeps your thinking bright in the otherwise gloomy presence of criticism. Your demeanor must indicate that you have, nothing to defend. Maverick, what is your deal? You just caught my toe with your claw. Ouchie. And that your demeanor must indicate you have nothing to defend and that you do have a case to make. Be wary of making big leaps of logic. It is essential in your approach that you go slowly, step by step. A wry amusement may be useful in this regard because it indicates that the charges don't really apply to you. Avoid saying anything sarcastic, though. When you present your case, you must build it in a way that says, a careful examination of the evidence is all that is required of you. I'm certain that when you've considered what I have to say, you'll draw a just conclusion. Be dispassionate, at least until your closing argument. A calm, methodical, logical, and consistent approach is the best way to get past the guards and get your day in court. Don't question the court's judgment. If you do, the judge will likely fine you for contempt. If you tell the judge that he or she is wrong, by inference, if not by intent, you are out of order. Instead, recognize that what the judge has said reflects his or her view of the facts. You aren't there to contradict the judge. You're there to offer new evidence or to interpret the facts in a new way. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back again. Mammy, get away from the door. You're not going out there. It's way too cold for you, sir. You have no fur on you. Good boy, Bobo. Told you guys he'd be back. There he is. There's your buddy. There's your buddy, Mav. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure Bobo came back. Okay. Your goal. Get the judgment dismissed. When the get-it-right judge rises to the bench, if the accusation is that you have somehow failed to measure up to the perfectionistic order of the court, prepare your defense, but without getting defensive. Your goal when dealing with the judge is to get the judgment dismissed. Action plan. Option 1. This is going to be interesting because I really feel like when people leave me certain comments on here or say certain things to me or about me, I feel like I want to fight. I feel like, no, that's not true. This is who I am. But yet I know it doesn't avail me at all to do that. So these are giving me action plans to deal with that kind of thing. And for me, my goal when dealing with the judge is not to get the judgment dismissed. It's to basically learn to ignore the judgment. So I'm interested to hear what they have to say. So option 1, acknowledge the judgment and move on. This option works great with the small claims judge. Sometimes you're better off acknowledging the judgment than moving on, rather than taking the time and expending the energy to try and change the judge's mind. If you choose this option, give thanks for your judge's good intentions and then go your own way. Now, I think I use this a lot in comment sections. I'll say thanks for your comment and then I move on because I'm not going to get into it with you. There's no point. Thanks for being honest with me about how you feel. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Thanks for your thoughtful suggestions. I sometimes say thanks for your input. If the judgment is about someone else in your family, thanks for wanting their life to work out. Thanks for letting me in on what you're thinking. Thanks for your insights. Like, okay, for my husband, he hates being mentioned on here because he's been nothing but hurt on this place by a lot of people. So he doesn't like me to mention him. I'm probably going to get kicked in the butt for mentioning him now, but I just want to use him as an example because this is true. He will say, don't say anything about me on there. But people will ask about him. How's Matthew? How's your husband? So I'll say he's doing fine. Or thanks for asking. He's doing great. Thanks for your concern. Thanks for caring. That sort of thing. Because he really does not want to be part of YouTube right now. He just doesn't. He's sick of being mistreated on here. And I frankly don't blame him. He's gone through a lot of garbage. And it took him a long time to get up to where he was. And then he got knocked right back down to the beginning just about. And it cost him a lot. So I don't blame him. He can stay away and stay safe for now until he's ready to engage on here. Okay. So if you do mention my husband and say, how's he doing? I'm going to tell you he's fine. And I'm going to thank you for your concern. That will be it. I'm trying very hard not to mention anything about him, what he's doing, what he's not doing, because he asked me not to. Okay. Then change the subject, get up and move, or offer to get them something. As you deflect the judgment with your positive projection about the judge's intention, the judge may wind up having to reflect on himself and the conclusions he's drawn because you're not getting in the way. I highly doubt that. On here, if somebody leaves a nasty comment or a comment that cuts me in some way, if I say thanks for your input, that person isn't going, oh, gee, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I doubt that. Most people on here, no, they don't care. People that leave like mean stuff, they're trying to get me going, and I know that. And then when they don't get me going, they probably will either change names and try a different tactic or just try a different tactic in that name. Or maybe just ignore me altogether because they didn't get the rise out of me they wanted. So, yeah. Okay, option 2, return to sender. This option works well with the fault-finding, nitpicking judge. If you're tired of hearing the judge passing judgment on other people whom you care about, you can return the judgment to its owner by asking the judge to own the judgments. It may be obvious to you that the criticized person doesn't want to go by the judge's laws. However, it may not be obvious to the judge. That's because judges refer to an internal law book of their own making, and they mistakenly assume everyone has a copy. The best way to let a judge know that nobody else has the book is with a gentle backtrack and then a question regarding the authority by which the judge is passing judgment. First, backtrack the judgment so the judge will know what you're specifically referring to. Use as many of the judge's words as possible so there's no mistake about it. When you say people that look like that shouldn't be seen in public, I'm curious to know how you came to that conclusion. According to whom? That's a good one, actually. When you say that the proper thing to do is keep your mouth shut and don't talk back, how do you know that? It's the proper thing according to whom? Wow, this is a pretty good book. Have you ever tried that? Have you ever said according to whom? According to who? Whatever. And how did it work for you? Let me know. If the response you get is a generalized, everybody knows it, then ask for specifics. If the judge says everyone, ask who specifically. If the answer is always, ask when specifically. If the judge says it's just common sense, bring it back around by saying common sense to whom? If the judge says any thinking person, ask, by whom specifically is this regarded as common sense? Keep bringing it back around until it lands squarely in the judge's court. You'll know it's back in the court when the judge says, by me. Yeah. Option 3, appeal the sentence. Here's the situation. Suppose you're dealing with a hanging judge. A negative comment is made about you or about someone in your family that you care about who's having a hard time with the judge because of all the judgments. The judgments follow the comparison format of you're too much, or you're too little, or you're not enough, or you're not even close. In any case, you can either appeal the decision of the judge, or you can take your appeal to a higher court, the court of your own opinions. Bringing your appeal to the hanging judge's court applies only if you have specifics about new or unexamined evidence that directly contradicts the judge's opinion. For example, if the judge says your daughter isn't even trying to lose weight, yet you happen to know what steps she's taking to lose weight, you can introduce what you know as new evidence. Ask a leading question while suggesting an explanation for why the judge was unaware of the information you're presenting. The information you offer reveals to your judge that the judge's generalization isn't accurate. So here's how they do it. I can tell this is important to you, positive projection. I guess you didn't know that she's cut out sugar and simple carbohydrates from her diet the last 3 weeks. Leading question that introduces new information. She's been talking with me regularly, and she is very frustrated with how difficult this is for her. Yet she perseveres, and I'm proud of her because I understand how much effort this is going to take to see it through. Then, if you have an alternate sentence to suggest, offer it in order to shift the judge from judgment to constructive actions. If your information is solid and your references as a character witness are good, this may be enough to influence the thinking of the judge, reducing the sentence to time served, or at least diminishing the harshness of their criticism for the moment. If a public judgment is happening to other people and you want to help them out of the awful situation, then try making your appeal public. Say something nice to the people being judged and ask them to account for their success or progress. To the people being judged for appearance, you might say, you look really nice. What have you been doing? Whatever it is, keep it up. To the people being judged for performance, you might say, I've noticed you've really been doing some terrific work lately. What are you doing differently? Now, sorry, I keep choking because that morning yuck comes up in the morning. I think with almost everybody, till you have your coffee or your tea, your warmth to settle all that stuff down. It's really annoying. Anyway, I think I've seen people use this on YouTube, and I've used it, where I see somebody being attacked and I will go in and say something positive to contradict what the judge is saying about them. And people have done that to me. Dee Dee, keep up what you're doing. Dispeller, we like your channel. We like your reading. We enjoy what you do. So just keep doing you, you know. So yeah, I think we use that one a lot more than some of the other ones, because I know some of the judges on here, you can try to change their mind. You can try to flip their words around, but they're narcissists, and there's no way you're going to flip anything around on a narcissist very easily. They'll just flip it right back around onto you because they're skilled at that. So one thing about narcissists, you need to remember, you are not their first rodeo. They have been at it for years, most of them. And if you counter them, they know exactly how to counter your counter, and they will. So it doesn't always work with everybody, like I've said before. All right, just a second. Okay, so that's what you do with somebody that is being judged by the judge. If, however, the judgments are directed at you, take your appeal to the higher court of your own opinion. This is the attitudinal approach we recommended earlier in the chapter. Place yourself under the influence of your own attitude by introducing counterexamples of the judge's judgments upon you. If a judge criticizes you for the way you look, say something in the privacy of your own mind to encourage yourself. I'm making a big effort to deal with this, and I'm making progress. If the judge says, You are to blame. Say to yourself, I'm doing the best I can. These accusations are about him or her, not about me. Maybe you can't tell the judge because the judge can't handle the truth, but you can handle it, so make sure you tell it to yourself. This keeps you free of your judge's negative characterization, strong in your knowledge of the facts, and focused in your judge's presence in spite of the judgmental behavior. It's bound to influence your judge's opinion of you in the long run, and it keeps you in charge of your own destiny. It doesn't. I don't know why they say that. I guess maybe because this book was written so long ago, they don't realize there are narcissists that this will not change the judge's opinion of you, no matter what you're saying to yourself or to them. It doesn't. Okay, option 4. I told you this book was not written by me. I don't agree with everything in it, and I will tell you when I don't. Go for the polarity response. A common mistake made with judges is trying to change their mind. Unless you've been granted an appeal, you're wasting your time. However, you can use judges' judgment intentionally to get the judges to go from prosecuting what they find offensive to defending it. Lucky for you, the judges, like no people, have strong polarity responses. While it's both ironic and paradoxical, the fact is that people who judge others tend to strongly dislike being judged themselves. Simply crowd them out of the role of prosecutor by taking what they said and saying it in an even more polarizing manner, offered in the form of a question. Here are 2 examples. Example 1. Hi, buddy. Here comes the mama. Hi, my baby boy. Judge says, Jeff doesn't apply himself in college. He just plays and runs around all the time. And he acts like it doesn't matter. He's a disgrace to the family. And you say, you think Jeff is intentionally trying to disgrace the family? Do you think he's stupid? Judge says, no, I'm not saying that. Example 2. Judge says, Loretta doesn't care how other people see her. She always looks like a mess, and it's embarrassing. You think she doesn't know how she looks? You think she likes looking that way? You don't think she hates looking that way? Judge, well, no, of course she hates it. In both of these cases, notice that the judge goes opposite to the question and affirms something opposite to his or her own original judgment. That's the beauty of the polarity response. You don't have to convince people. You get them to convince themselves. Then you can provide some reinforcement for the judge's new position. You say, I'm relieved that you know that. This has the potential to put the judge back in the cooperation zone. Typically, the judge will then express regret over his or her own helplessness to bring about a change for the better. Not if they're narcissists, they won't. If ever there were a time to offer a suggestion, this is it. The judge says, I just wish she'd listen to me. And then you say, I've found that what works best in this kind of situation is to offer encouragement. When people feel bad, they don't change. When people feel successful, they accumulate successes. Again, this book was written back in the dark ages, as far as I'm concerned, early 2000. It doesn't work with a lot of people. You're reasoning with somebody that's unreasonable. Remember that. Option 5, give them a glimpse of greatness. Sometimes you have to draw a bigger line and tell the problem judges the truth about how their behavior is self-defeating and what you think would work better instead. Begin by appreciating their intent as positive, and that they care about you, about quality, about getting things right. Then show them how the way they're going about it defeats their own purpose because of how people react to it. Then quickly switch to what they could do instead that would work better. The overview is the same for honesty with any of the problem behaviors. Your goal of honesty is to give judges a glimpse of greatness. Stay in your positive intent. Be specific about problem behavior. Show them how their behavior is self-defeating. Suggest new behaviors or options, and reinforce behavioral change. Of the actions listed above, 2 are especially important to judges. State your positive intent. Appreciating judges' attention to right and wrong is a key element to gaining access to their willingness to change. You could tell them that you appreciate wanting her to do the right thing, the way you care about his appearance, wanting this to turn out well, wanting me to have a good life, wanting me to have a fulfilling relationship. Now, here's the issue that I have with all of that pleasantry, as I call it. A narcissist does not want you to have a fulfilling relationship. They don't want a relationship with you. They want to control you. Wanting you to have a good life? No, they want to have a life that they have deemed as good, and using you is the way they're going to do it, and abusing you. Wanting this to turn out well, they don't care. As long as when they're done with you, they're rid of you. The way you care about, the way they care about your appearance. I've actually dealt with this with the narcissist. She actually bought me beautiful clothes. I mean, beautiful, a beautiful powder blue jogging suit. I think it was blue. I'm pretty sure, maybe navy blue. Anyway, I had told her how happy I was and pleased that she blessed me in that way, and that I wear the jogging suit all the time. She goes, "Oh, that old thing? I wouldn't be buried in that. I just got it because I knew that's what you wanted." Like, I knew that that would please you, because she was in the love bombing stage at that point. So she was going to do anything to please me and love bomb me so that I would, draw closer to her so she could get her narcissistic supply. Wanting you to do the right thing. The right thing to a narcissist is their thing. And even that isn't right, because their thing always changes. So that is why this will not work with a narcissist. Be specific about the problem behavior. Show judges the benefit of change by revealing the self-defeating consequences of their behavior. It is likely that judges are looking at a detail and failing to see the big picture. You want to offer a clear example of how their behavior is self-defeating. When you did this, here's what happened. You're losing the people you care about, because when you say critical things to them about others, they worry about what you'll say about them behind their back. Then they want to stay away from you. Narcissists don't care about any of that. They really, truly don't. I cannot picture saying this to somebody with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. They would just throw it right back in your lap. Like, why are you telling me this? Do you have an issue with me too? And you would be cornered. Okay, because she tries to be nice, she doesn't say anything to you when you say these things to her. But I know she internalizes your feedback and uses it to feel bad about herself. Hi, storyteller. This lowers her self-esteem even further, which makes it even less likely she'll make the right choices that are so obvious to you. This, again, would not work with a narcissist. They don't care. They really don't care. They don't care if you internalize their feedback or that you feel bad about yourself. As long as you don't require anything of them that makes them be alone with themselves, they don't care, because they don't like themselves. They don't like to see their true self try to come up through the facade and the mask that they wear. And by requiring them to be accountable, that's what you do. They have to be alone with themselves and really look at their behavior. And they're not willing to do that. It's easier to put the blame on somebody else. A narcissist does not take blame. They're allergic to blame, as I've said so many times. So I really don't see much of a lot of this in the book working with a narcissist. So consider the source of who you're dealing with. If they happen to be a narcissist, realize that the best thing for you to do is get the heck away from them. If you're in a job, try to find another job or another position and move from wherever you are. If you're in a relationship, abruptly end the relationship safely, as safely and abruptly as you can. Just get out of it before your whole psyche and personality and self-worth is totally and utterly destroyed. Okay, great moments in difficult people history. Olivia Owl and Robin Robin, we're back to them again. The day had arrived for the big migration to the south. The migratory birds had packed their nests and were saying their goodbyes to the non-migratory birds. Robin Robin had prepared for this moment for over a month. It wasn't the migration that concerned her. She had done that many times before, and she could do it with her eyes closed. But today, when she said her goodbye to Aunt Olivia Owl, she planned to talk with her about her critical behavior. Robin landed on a nearby branch and chirped, "Greetings, Auntie Olivia." Olivia Owl sat staring silently, her big yellow eyes focused unblinkingly on Robin Robin. Feeling intimidated, Robin's resolve briefly wavered. Finally, Olivia Owl spoke. Well, I'm glad someone had the decency to fly by to say goodbye. Dahlia and Daisy Duck are already gone. Of course, given how plump they are, they probably need an extra day to fly. Have you seen your brother, Ray Robin? I haven't. Maybe he flew into a glass window and knocked himself out the way he did last time. Sitting there on the ground unconscious for all that time, he could have been gobbled up by somebody's house cat. But it serves him right for zooming around so recklessly. Who knows? Perhaps the impact is what made him forget his manners. I heard the geese have already left too, and I haven't even heard a word from Gabby or Gertie Goose. As Canadian geese, I expected them to be a little more polite than some of the locals. Robin knew she couldn't be a chicken. She had to talk to Aunt Olivia because she could no longer stand the constant stream of critical comments, but she loved her aunt, and she knew she meant well. Robin didn't want to become one of the many birds that were permanently migrating out of Aunt Olivia's life. She took a deep breath. Olivia seemed to stare at her more intently. Why are you fidgeting so much? Are you in a hurry? If you need to fly off, go ahead. Robin looked directly at Olivia. No, I'm not in a hurry. It's just that I love you, and I have something to tell you that's very important for me to say and for you to hear, but it's difficult to say it. Well, who? I love you too, Robin. What could be so difficult? Just say it. As you wish, Auntie. I know how much you care about everyone. And because you're nocturnal and carnivorous, you have exceptionally good eyes, so you see the details that others often don't see. Robin paused as Olivia sat in silence with those big yellow eyes staring at her. Then she continued. But the things you say sound harsh to me. You have so much wisdom to offer, but some of the things you say sound harsh instead. So I have to ask you, do you really think Dahlia Duck doesn't care about how she looks? Do you really think she's trying to be a disgrace? No, of course not. I'm relieved to hear that. I just wish she'd listen to me. She really doesn't have to be that large. Have you influenced her at all, Auntie? It doesn't seem so. I swear she must be preparing herself to become a dish of Peking duck at a Chinese restaurant. Robin went on. Well, I find that encouragement works better than criticism in these situations, because if you tell her only what is wrong, she feels bad about herself. And when she feels bad, she heads straight to the park and starts quacking to the humans for more bread. And it isn't just her. Do you really think all the migratory birds just forgot to say goodbye? Is it possible some of them didn't want to? Because when you tell birds critical things about other birds, the birds you say it to worry about what you say about them when they're not around. They may stop coming around to avoid your criticism, and if they stop coming around, you lose the opportunity to help them. Olivia blinked her big yellow eyes and shifted her position on the branch. Robin thought to herself, wow, Auntie's actually uncomfortable. I didn't know she was capable of discomfort. Robin knew there was no turning back now. Auntie, I know a secret way to get people to like you and listen to you. Would you like to know what it is? Olivia blinked again and said, pray tell, Robin, what is it? All you have to do is say nice things about others when someone comes around. And instead of telling others what's wrong, ask them how you can be of assistance to them. You have a lot of help to give, but you have to say it in a way that others can hear. They sat there in silence for what seemed like an eternity until Robin said, well, Auntie Olivia, I am really going to have to fly. I love you. Have a nice winter. She then turned and said, do you want to help me fix my tail feathers? I can't go flying around all ruffled. Olivia Owl blinked her big yellow eyes. That's all right, Robin. You look fine just as you are. They sat for another moment. Then Olivia said, thank you, Robin. Then Robin flew south for the winter, looking forward to returning in the spring more than she ever had before. The moral of this story is that a little bit of encouragement goes a longer way than a lot of criticism. Like I said, doesn't work with narcissists, but go ahead and try it. Quick summary. When someone becomes a judge, your goal is to get the judgment dismissed. Your action plan is acknowledge the judgment and move on. 2, return to the sender. 3, appeal the sentence. 4, go for the polarity response. And 5, give them a glimpse of greatness. All right, our next reading, I don't know when I'll do it, is the Meddler. I think we have lots of these on YouTube. Meddlers. People that butt into other people's situations. especially people that aren't on YouTube and pop in like every once in a while and just have to get up on panels and badmouth people and stick their nose where it doesn't belong. Yeah, we have meddlers on YouTube and we have meddlers in real life. So this should be an interesting chapter. Anyway, did anybody have any input, insight, comments, questions, communication, whatever that you would like to share? If not, that's fine. I will head off. I've got a lot of stuff to do around here today, and I will be doing it in between putting my foot up and icing it and taking ibuprofen. I noticed my foot does not hurt until I stand on it. When I was laying in bed this morning, I could move my whole ankle around in circles, and I didn't feel a thing. As soon as I started walking for like 10 minutes, the foot started up again. So, yeah, it's probably tendonitis is what my guess is. I don't think it's anything in the bone structure or even the musculature. I think it's the tendons that like stretch across the bottom of my foot and the side. That's probably what it is. Okay, anyway, no comments. So, if you watch this at a later time, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for your comments and your thumbs up. Thank you, storyteller. Yeah, it's really a good book, but it's kind of an outdated book, I think is what the problem is. And it's a book that's not about a specific topic that everybody necessarily wants to deal with or does deal with. So I can appreciate that. I am going to try to find my boundaries book. I found it the other day. I don't know if I brought it in or left it out in the shed. Boundaries, I think, is going to be the next thing that I do. I don't know whether I will do uploads or live stream it. I'm not sure. I really like going live because I like interacting with live people, you know. I mean, filming a video, that's fine. I think it's okay for like showing off my cats or whatever. But for stuff like this that you could have a discussion if anybody wants to, I like going live and doing it. So I may just continue doing that. Anyway, storyteller, how have you been? I haven't been able to talk to you about you. So what's going on with you? Are you doing okay? Everybody well in your house? You know, I really don't know why these people come in and do that. They just automatically get blocked on my channel. They don't even have time to do much of anything. It's just ridiculous. These spam messages or whatever they are. Oh my gosh, I so want one. Yes. Yes, email me, storyteller, or are we on Facebook together? I can't remember. Here's my email address. Please do send me an email and I will send you my address so you can you can mail it to me. I hope it's a hardcover book, not an ebook, because I love reading actual books. You're iced in today. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm not iced in, but I am off my foot. So I can't work today. I can't work till the 7th, whenever the heck that is. I don't even know. Today's the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So today is Friday. Saturday will be the 5th. Sunday will be the 6th. Monday will be the 7th. I don't work on Monday anyway. I work on Tuesday. So that'll work perfectly. Sorry you're iced in. I know the weather is pretty rough in certain places. Definitely. I'm glad I don't have to try to walk on anything today because there's a lot of ice out there. There's a lot of jagged snow. And then there's some snow covered by ice. Pretty dangerous walking conditions. Yay! Oh, awesome. I will. Thank you. That'll give me something to do while I'm laying with my foot up. Hi, Bobo man. This is my man. Hi, baby. Where are you going? You're using me to climb, huh? I see how you are. Go ahead. Boom. That's all he does. Use me until he wants me to cuddle him, and then he comes back. There he is, up on the guinea cage. Bobo man. Hey. Hi, buddy. What you doing? I see you. I see you, Bobo. You gonna go to the fridge? The fridge is right there. He hops right from there over to the fridge and then to the other fridge. He loves that. You should be excited. You wrote a book. That's awesome. I'm excited about my ebooks too. I don't know how to do a hard copy book, and I wouldn't have the patience to do that in my life right now. Maybe, someday when I'm not working, and I have a lot of time at home, I would do that. Who knows? It's not in my immediate plans. My main goal is weight loss and to get healthy again. That's really what my goal setting is geared towards right now. Anyway, I'm really glad you came in, Storyteller. It's good to know at least you were watching me and cared to comment. What you doing, Bo? I see you, man. You gonna hop over to the fridge? Yeah, working at home. Yep. I know that's something I'm considering doing, trying to find a work at home job. But for any work at home job, I need a regular computer. You can't do it on a Chromebook, which is what I have now. So that might be a thing I do in the future. Should I ever get an actual computer again? I don't know. Honestly, I didn't get another computer when I could get one because I kind of have minimized my time on YouTube. I wasn't here as much as I was for a while. So it was like, why pay the money, which is like a couple $100 to get a new computer, laptop or otherwise, and not really hardly use it. Like I even thought about cutting down on the internet. But I do come on here and it does make me a little bit of alternative income from time to time. So if you're making income that's paying your bills, it doesn't make sense to get rid of your computer or your internet. So, anywho, if you want to, Storyteller, we can always I guess they call it FaceTime, Facebook, whatever. We can talk one-on-one. I don't always have to come on here for you to talk to me. We've been friends, internet friends for like a long time. So if you'd feel comfortable with that, that'd be great. If not, that's okay. I respect that. I understand. But yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. But for now, I'm here on the Chromebook. I'm happy I have a Chromebook. I don't know what I would have done through through Chrome. Man, mouth talk. COVID. If I hadn't had some kind of internet to talk to somebody. I tell you, COVID messes up more than just your lungs. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, well, let me know when you have a break and we'll make it a date, as they say. We'll hook up, talk to each other on the camera, and just, chit chat about our days and whatever. Get to know each other a little more personally than just on YouTube. I would like that. I don't have many friends and I'm pretty picky about my friends, as you know. So yeah, I know. You feel very alone when you have COVID because it's going on inside your body and nobody else can be there to feel what you're feeling and experience what you're experiencing. So they can say, oh, I'm sorry you're hurting, I'm sorry you're sick. But unless they're there with you going through the same thing, it just doesn't feel like they're there. You're like, I know what you're saying, but I'm the one hurting. I'm the one sick. I'm the one experiencing this. Thankfully, not really thankfully, I don't wish that on anybody, but Matthew and I got sick around the same time. So we really could relate to what each other was going through. So it was nice having him there for me. I will say that much. I can't say a lot about him, but yeah. And the fear. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the fear that this is it. I'm dying. I'm not going to come out of this alive. I went through that. The first 3 days were intense fear. And then it was just an acceptance, like, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm very, very sick. I can tell that. Sicker than I've ever been in my life. I have no energy to move. I try to stand up and my whole head and body just feel like somebody's squeezing the life out of me and the breath. I've never felt such intense fatigue in my life. And I guess that's what you call it. There's got to be another name for it. It almost feels like being strangled by a boa constrictor. Not that I've ever been, but it's like something just literally wrapping around you and choking the very life out of you. That would be the way I described it. I'm not exaggerating to any of you that think, oh gosh, Dispeller's so dramatic. No, it really does feel like that. I pray you never have to experience it if you haven't already. That is literally what it feels like or felt like to me. Like if I was choked or squeezed really tightly by something that, was wrapped around me entirely, maybe a bunch of boas, just literally squeezing till you feel like you can't breathe anymore and you're just going to die. That's pretty much COVID to me, the first few days. And I didn't think it was going to let up. I thought I was going to just suffocate and die. So I'm just telling you the truth from my angle of what I went through. Hang on, guys. I almost fell off the couch. Oh, my goodness. I'll let the Nene in. Come on, buddy. I know it's cold out there. You keep wanting to go out in the cold like a Dangledorf. There you go, buddy. Anyway, we could talk about COVID till the cows come home. I got plenty to say. I hate COVID. I despise it. I am not happy with how it got here, and I still have my ideas about how that was, and people disagree with me, and I don't care. You can disagree all you want. What? You learn a lot tutoring people from other countries. That's all I can say. You learn a lot about their attitudes towards people here and all that stuff. It's my Nene. My forest cat, such a pretty boy. This is my Norwegian Forest Cat. He's beautiful and he is rugged. He's got a big, thick neck, not like the other tiny kitties with the skinny necks. He's got pointy ears and he's got a very heavy coat. I guess it's like double or triple layered so he can withstand temperatures the other cats can't. So he always wants to be outside because he can handle that weather. He's built for that weather, but not for long. He eventually wants to come back in and get warmed up because he's smart. You're so beautiful, Nene. Look at the loving moments going on over here with these two while they were. That's Maverick. Can you believe Mavi's that big already? I think he's almost as big as Mimi now. Oh, Mavi, you're getting big. All right, I guess I should get going then. I'm going to go figure out how to make myself a little bit of breakfast. Oh, lost a very close friend to it. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't believe I'm still here. I totally I hear ya. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I did not end up in the hospital on a ventilator with all kinds of drugs being pumped through me to keep me alive. I still, that's why I'm not letting people get to me anymore like I used to, because it's really, life is fragile and it's short and it's something that you have to, do that. It's something you have to treasure because you don't know how long or short it is, I woke up this morning thinking about my life and realizing, it's but a vapor, but it's a cycle. Like I said, I think you cycle around in some way, shape, or form, though I don't know how. And I just basically take it as it comes, one day at a time. I don't have any lofty goals I'm aspiring to. Just basically trying to stay out of a bunch of persecution from other people would be my goal right now. I will await your email or your message on Facebook, either one, and we can talk there. All right, I'm going to get going. Thanks all for listening now or later or commenting or whatever. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and be blessed. Shalom.